Hello everyone at St. John Paul College. My name is Hayden and I'm your client manager for your upcoming program. Mr. Harwest has asked that I put together a quick little presentation with a bit of information about who we are and what we do, and just answering a few of those last minute questions that you guys have. So Outward Bound Australia is a not-for-profit organisation that's been running for over 60 years here in Australia, and internationally we've been running since World War II. So during the Second World War, they had the Merchant Navy, which was made up essentially of anyone not in the right age bracket to be in the Navy. So anyone kind of younger than 18 and older than say 40 plus. They were finding that these boats were obviously getting attacked and sunk. The statistics were something like 1 in 3 would be attacked and 1 in 5 would be sunk. And these guys weren't trained soldiers. They weren't kind of ready for this experience, and they were then thrown into these life rafts. And what they found was when they were recovering these life rafts days, weeks, months later, that it was the old people that were still alive, and that the young men who you would expect would be fit, healthy, surviving were the ones that were perishing. So they scratched their head and weren't quite sure what was going on. And at this time they went to a guy named Kurt Hahn. Kurt Hahn then founded the first Outward Bound school, which was to take people before they went out on these boats, these young men, take them out into the wilderness and have a wilderness experience. At that time it was for 26 days, and that would result in them going back out onto these ships with this attitude that there was more in them than they knew, and then they found that the survival rate was actually skyrocketing. So that initial idea to take people out into the wilderness and show them that there's more in them than they know has now spread to over 30 countries, and it's evolved and changed. And in Outward Bound Singapore, you might sail a tall ship. In Outward Bound Canada, you might go dog sledding. In Outward Bound Oman, you might ride camels. For us in Outward Bound Australia, and particularly for you guys on your Melbourne experience in our Northern New South Wales base, you guys will be hiking and experiencing some incredible rainforest. So what you can see here is called Mount Warning or Wollumbin, and you guys will actually climb right up here to the tippy top and watch the sunrise. So this is a pretty special, obviously significant Indigenous mountain, and it actually gets the first sunrise in all of Australia. So you guys can see just here is the coastline, and essentially our whole operational area that you guys are coming to fits within this caldera. So this ancient volcanic rim here has basically meant that what's inside this volcano has been able to stay as it was back in Gondwana land. So you've got this incredible pocket of rainforest, which is just so different from what's happened to the rest of Australia, and that's where you guys are going to be coming next week. So hopefully by now you guys have jumped online and had a look at your portal. If not, here's the link again for you, and Mr. Harworth has that. So you can jump on, and that's got a bit more information about who we are, your packing list, where you're going, a couple of different videos and bits and bobs like that. So definitely jump on and check that out. So primarily the programs are designed to be journey based, meaning that you move from site to site. They're obviously written in a way that you guys need to rely on each other. So as much as you'll have an instructor with you and an accompanying teacher, their role is to really kind of step back and be the safety net, and you guys step up to drive the program. They're obviously set, like I said, in a wilderness setting, and you guys really take control of cooking dinners, setting up camp, where you want to go for the day, how the activities unfold. All of that stuff falls to you guys. So an aspect of the program is that they're supposed to be challenging. So going back to those guys on the boats, they would have never developed that idea that there was more in them if they weren't pushed to that limit. So on your program, there's going to be obviously things that challenge people in different ways. So for some people, the hike up Mount Warning is going to be quite a physical challenge. For some, it's being thrown in with a group of people that you have to hang around 24/7 that you're not normally hanging out with. That might be a social or an emotional challenge. There's going to be mental challenges that are thrown in by your instructors and by your teachers, initiatives and high ropes activities and things like that. So like I've touched on before, these expeditions are led by you guys, and that's where we can really draw out those learnings. You can't learn these things in a classroom. That's why you guys are coming out into the rainforest. So another important aspect of the program is the outcome that we're trying to achieve. So your school comes to us with this set of outcomes, and this is going to be essentially what we're aiming to produce within the program. So each of your groups will be sent out with one of our expert instructors. So this is some of the crew here, and obviously these guys are trained in wilderness first aid, in how to facilitate you guys in their hard skills and their soft skills, and so they're kind of your go-to out there. So this slide's usually more for the parents to kind of quell their nerves a little bit, but I just wanted to show you guys that we are a leading organisation both internationally and nationally, and that is, when you guys are out in the field, there's not just one person sitting back on base hoping that things are all right. We do have this dedicated chain of people that are ready to respond in the event of anything. Hopefully by this stage you guys have all jumped on and completed your Care Monkey. This is our online medical system. It ensures that we have the most up-to-date information, that it can be screened and given to the guys out in the field, and that everyone can be as safe as can be. Again, this is just showing you guys the kind of support that's out there while you guys are in the field. So we've got 24-hour live tracking. We know where everyone is. We know what's going on. We can send weather alerts. Everything is under control. So if you haven't already, jump on, complete your Care Monkey, make sure it's up to date. I think we've still got about 9 or 10 people who haven't got online. If you're bringing any medication, please make sure that you bring 2 sets of it so we can keep one back on base with us. If you haven't jumped on that portal, jump on and have a look. And if you have any more questions, problems, queries, concerns, just raise them with Mr. Harworth, or shoot me through an email. So these were the questions collected by Mr. Harworth for me. So will we be setting up tents? Yes. And will you be moving each night? Not necessarily. So each program line will have 2 nights on base and 1 night out. So depending on how that falls within your program, you might have to move every night. You might have to only move once, depending on where that falls. Will there be showers? Yes, again, so the nights that you're on base, so for 2 out of the 3 nights, you'll have access to wood-fired showers. Just keep in mind that they are obviously wood-fired, and so there needs to be enough hot water for everyone, so try and limit your showers to 2 to 3 minutes. If you bring your phone, yes, obviously you guys have quite a long bus ride up here, so you can bring your phone on the bus if that's within your school policies, listen to your music or whatever. Once you get to base, the first thing that you do will be a gear split and a gear issue, so you'll be dividing up all of your clothes and getting all the outward bound group equipment. Part of that process, your instructor will invite you to hand over any valuables, or if not, you can just store them in your soft bag. So that's a bag that you've brought from home, and that will have your bus clothes and things like that, and that will just get stored in our gear shed, so you can just leave whatever you don't want in there. Are high top black Converse shoes appropriate? I would say probably not. Although we don't want you guys to all rush out and spend heaps of money on a brand new pair of hiking boots, I would basically encourage that if you could wear it for PE, then it's appropriate for this experience. So skate shoes like Converse or Vans are probably not appropriate, remembering that you guys will be doing hiking like the Mount Warning Trail, so that's about 8 kilometers, very steep, can be slippery, kind of rocky, uneven terrain. So you need to have closed-toed shoes and something with a decent amount of support. So like your PE runners or something like that is fine, or if you do have hiking boots, then that would be awesome. And are exercise pants or leggings okay? So we have a longs policy at Outward Bound, so long sleeve shirt, long pants. That's obviously to protect against ticks, leeches, snakes, spiders, all sorts of bits and bobs like that. So you can wear exercise pants as long as they aren't 3/4 or shorts. And just something to keep in mind is that one of the reasons that we encourage kind of loosely fitting like a hiking pant is for snake bites. So when a snake strikes at you, more often than not, it doesn't think that you're prey, it just wants you to back off. And research has proven that they actually can just attack the loose part of the pant rather than striking the leg. So that's just something to consider. Another good consideration is when you're doing your high reps activities, I would actually recommend something like an exercise pant for the girls, just because with the harnesses on, everything can kind of ride up and get a little bit uncomfortable and wedgy like. So in that instance, the leggings can be really good. I think that's pretty much all the questions that you guys had for me. If you come up with anything more, like I said, feel free to send them through to Nick or contact me directly. And we're really looking forward to having you guys here at our Outbound Northern base next Tuesday. So thanks, guys.